You're back for more His Dark Materials here on BuzzChomp, and we're reacting to episode 4. I'm Dan Salem, and in this episode, the magic was truly unleashed.
I'm Mandy.
I'm Dan.
Subscribe to
BuzzChomp.
BuzzChomp.
Woo! We've had magic throughout this show, so thus far, I haven't read the books. I'm not familiar with the old movie. That wasn't very good. So this is all new to me, right? And so we've just been told about the magic. Yes, we get little inklings. They walk through the rift between worlds. We're told there are witches. We're told there are giant bears. And the alethiometer, I guess we saw it work once. But in episode 4, everything. The alethiometer just opened up for Lyra. She went from figuring out how to work it to being an expert overnight, seemingly. And I get it, it's a series, and she probably was spending a long time on the river using it. But the point is, magic was just unleashed, and it was really came down to the alethiometer. We also saw the Magisterium's alethiometer, and we saw how difficult it is for them to utilize it, and how sacred it is, and how illegal it is. And Lord Boreal pressures the only member of the Magisterium that can actually read it into unlocking the secrets for him. And basically, he holds a dirty secret over the man's head. It's another analogy to the Catholic Church and priests sleeping with little boys. That's what he held over this Magisterium member's head. Marisa also coaxes the Magisterium to let her continue her experiments because she has captured her former husband, Lord Azreal, and she also gets a question for the alethiometer, one of them, that the Magisterium holds. And she wants to know who Lyra is. Now, we know it's her daughter. It was very, very subtly hinted at in episode 3, and then made blatantly obvious that we should have known all along in episode 4. Now, I get it. The series is towing the line between those who are very familiar with everything and those like me who are discovering it for the first time. They're doing a great job of keeping giant bombshells like that a secret until they tell us, and then once they do, it's common knowledge. They're just referring to Lord Azreal as dad and Marisa as mom now, like we've known all along. I don't know if you watched the previously, before this episode, but they kind of hinted at, we may have just happened to delete part of that scene where we made it blatantly obvious to you that that was her mother. But we're going to show it to you now like we did it all along. Anyway, I had a little rant about that on BuzzChomp if you want to go read it. I just thought it was a little out of place for this bombshell to just blow up in our faces. But that's how the show is going. You know nothing, and then, oh my god, you know it, and then all bets are off. We learned about the bears. Now, the alethiometer is not really magic. The bears aren't really quote-unquote magic. This world has giant bears in it that talk. It's just a creature in this world. That doesn't make them magic, correct? But it feels magical as compared to our world. The alethiometer itself, we don't know how it works, so perhaps there's magic inside. I have a feeling it channels the dust. We don't know much about dust. That's kind of something they're keeping hidden in the dark. The witches are hunting dust because I assume that it allows them to enhance their magic or utilize their magic. They live on another plane, another world, probably because that world is full of dust, and they were probably ran out of this world out through a war we don't know about. Don't know. Lyra reading the alethiometer is not really magical. She's going into a trance state and analyzing the data that's presented to her, and she knows it. She just inherently knows it. But it kind of feels like magic. And perhaps that trance state is no different than casting a spell. There's just a lot of allegories here, which is why I'm saying that magic is unleashed across the board. Lee flying in on his, I think he's in a hot air balloon. It's not magic, but dude, just kind of appeared, and he's friends with the bear. It just felt whimsical, if you will. The Magisterium showing that it truly just wants to have a stranglehold on all the magic in this world. I think they push the witches out. They're keeping the connection between other worlds closed as much as possible. They want to kill Lord Azreal because he's trying to unlock the magic of the world and prove the dust existences, and they want to try to separate them from their demons and remove anything seemingly close to magical as possible. Lord Azreal being held by the bears. We found out Marisa, again, in her diabolical scheme, helped the current king of the bears exile Lorik, who was supposed to be king, and then that's who Lyra goes and gets help from, ultimately getting his armor back, Lorik. It's just a clever little things. Again, I picked up on it. I've kind of honed in on the fact that I have to listen extremely carefully. They are talking in British dialects. They are speaking very quickly and dropping lots of information rather fast. And if you don't listen, you can miss it. That conversation where she was hinting at the king, she dropped what she held over his head and that he's going to, quote, get baptized. Yeah, I definitely don't see that happening. But he bought the lie, and so he's going to give her Lord Azreal because he captured him. And so there was that history to what she did for the bears and why Lorik the bear was exiled. We don't quite yet know why Lord Boreal, the guy with the snake, he's so devious. He's the only one we've actually seen cross between worlds. And he seems to not quite trust Mrs. Coulter, yet can't quite tell what's there between them. I thought he was working for her. It came off that way, right? But no, he's just a number Magisterium member. And he wants to know everything about anyone else who's crossing. She wants to know everything about Dust and the demons. It's like each one is individually investigating a piece of magic. And maybe they're trying to wipe it out. Maybe they're just trying to seize power. But everybody in the Magisterium appears power hungry. And nobody quite seems to be on one another's side. This is a huge win in the column for Lyra and her analogy to playing poker and bluffing. She's got a big team of trust and support behind her. These folks are kind of all out for themselves. And in the end, they're going to lose. I mean, it feels like the story that's going to have a happy ending, right? Don't know quite how the season's going to end, but I kind of imagine that I really don't know where it's going. I have no clue. There's just a war coming, and magic's unleashed. The witches are going to come to the aid of Lyra and the Gyptians and their team. And we're getting a little bit more and more out of the alethiometer every episode. Lyra can just ask it anything she wants, and she figures out the answer rather quickly, where it takes weeks and weeks and weeks for the Magisterium to get one simple thing answered. I mean, this is the most all-powerful thing in the universe as far as I'm concerned. What other magic is to come on his Dark Materials? We'll see the witches, and we're going to see probably the bears war with one another. We haven't talked too much about Dust, and the show is kind of just sweeping it away like we clean dust off a shelf. I have a feeling that it's literally everywhere. Lyra saw it in the Northern Lights, and she saw the castle through the dust, through the lights. That's just another universe, right? Another world. So there's a rift that Lord Boreal steps between for worlds. We know the witches are in another world, and they can freely pass, potentially, I'm assuming, using their magic. I have a feeling all Lyra has to do is ask the alethiometer, how do I cross between worlds? And then she can just do it. Where do I access this world? Where do I access this world? What is it I'm looking at? She can literally ask it any question, get the answer, and then do it. The book is open, and she doesn't need to read it because she already knows the answers. I love his Dark Materials. I'm Dan Salem. Subscribe to BuzzChomp because I'll be following this show all season long. And comment below with your predictions, assuming they are spoiler-free because you haven't read the books like I am. This is a fun series. I'm truly enjoying it. Woo!
Thanks for watching BuzzChomp.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.